Joining me now is celebrity and royal commentator Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, John Shahidi, who manages popular podcasters, the Nelk Boys, has pitched the idea of allowing podcasters into White House press briefings. This is something that President-elect Donald Trump is apparently considering. Americans are turning away from many traditional media sources and increasingly turning to podcasters. Does it make sense to treat them like the rest of the media?
Yeah, and Don Jr. was like, I'm breaking some news here on his podcast. He said, this is something we are seriously considering. Podcast reach is, there's no comparison when it comes to certain podcast reach versus mainstream media. And I think today people trust Joe Rogan far more than they trust anybody on ABC or NBC. To be honest with you, I think that the American public has really lost faith in journalism, and it would be in the White House's best interest, if they want to get their message out, to invite some of those people that have cultivated really engaged audiences and have people that trust them, their listeners believe in them.
And also they're reaching a whole new audience. They're reaching young people. They're reaching people who are not always politically engaged. And that can only be good for the voter turnout because, after all, America, unlike Australia, does not have compulsory voting. Advisors working on Kamala Harris's failed presidential campaign have said they were surprised to see publicly released polls showing her ahead of Donald Trump because their internal polling consistently had her well behind. This is something I talked about on this program because the way they were behaving often was as if they were trailing, and I was wondering out loud what the internal polling was showing them compared to what the polls the media was publishing. What do you make of all that, Kinsey?
I mean, I think that that's further proof that you need people like Joe Rogan, in the White House press corps, because that, to me, the willingness of the media to just post all of the Kamala's got it in the bag shows their dishonesty and their lack of due diligence. I listened to all that media. I was under the impression that Kamala had it in the bag, and I dreaded the question whenever anyone asked me who's going to win because I thought it was going to be Kamala. And I was surprised by the fact that you knew that. It obviously impresses me because I was surprised to find out that internally they were quite worried and they didn't have the same intel. Yet to the world, these big media entities are saying, get ready for Kamala. It's going to be a brat White House.
And all the late night TV hosts, they were all pushing these polls saying she's ahead, she's leading in every swing state, she's going to win Iowa. Was that some of the polling was ridiculous. Now, let's talk about Leonardo DiCaprio. He's been lashed for ignoring a traditional ceremony in Fiji. Excited locals were singing and dancing, and this is how he behaved. Kinsey, it's clear he wasn't really on the phone. That's what offends me more than anything. If you don't want to stick around and be polite for 5 seconds, fine, but don't pretend to be on the phone. He dropped the phone as soon as he got into the van.
Yeah, a simple wave doesn't cost you anything. A simple smile doesn't cost you anything. I didn't think that this reflected well on him. On this show, I believe I've covered some people kind of harassing him outside of a club or a party in Paris over the Diddy allegations. So I wonder how much he's trying to avoid viral moments. But at this just seemed like a carefree, joyous event moment. and he wasn't going to allow them to have it. And it reflects poorly on him. He needs to understand that in that moment when he made that decision to try to avoid attention, he attracted negative attention, and he needs to be more cautious of that.
You're so right. All he needed to do was take his sunnies off, give them a smile, maybe a wave, a thumbs up, whatever, some gesture of acknowledgement. And he didn't need to stay for the whole thing, but that was just rude, very rude indeed.
Yeah.
Charles Spencer is the younger brother of the late Princess Diana. He's attempted to explain his new relationship with a woman 18 years younger than him following his divorce from wife Karen Spencer. He told the Daily Mail that he wasn't looking for love when he fell for new girlfriend archaeologist Dr. Katrine Jarman. He said, "The thing is, I'm 18 years older than Kat, and so there wasn't even the possibility," he said. "I've never been with a much younger person. I wasn't even thinking romance. I was at the tail end of a marriage. It just wasn't a possibility." But here we are. The two of them have had a strong friendship for many years, even while he was still married to Karen. What more can you tell us, Kinsey?
Look, Page Six reports the 60-year-old met the archaeologist, who is 18 years his junior, in 2021 when she arrived at Althorpe, his family's country estate, to do some digging. There's a gold digger joke there, Rita, but I digress. You know, the man announces their divorce days after his wife's father dies. This Meet the Girlfriend media tour, the girlfriend suing his wife. There is a scandal brewing. The spin is giving desperation, and it feels like Prince Harry's favorite uncle is trying to cover something up. And I want to know, should Meghan Markle be concerned about Prince Harry hanging out with a man that has been divorced 3 times and is now dating a woman that's 18 years younger than he is? People are going to need to watch this space.
And didn't he have a go at King Charles because he cheated on his sister, Princess Diana? And, well, I'm not suggesting there's been any cheating here. Other people may be doing that, but it's not something I would do. But did you say the new girlfriend is suing the wife? What's that about?
She is suing the wife for privacy, and we don't have the details of that yet. But for Charles to come out and do this Meet the Girlfriend tour, it's almost a silent endorsement of that. And that, I mean, to me, that's hideous. This woman, his current wife, it gave him a beautiful daughter. Like, behave, be kind. I'm shocked.
I don't know why he'd want to be doing anything in the public concerning his personal life at all. Taylor Swift. The Swifties out there, we know there's millions of them, they've been disappointed after Billboard magazine ranked her as only the 2nd greatest pop star of all time. Tell us who came in at number 1. I've got a feeling Kanye will be happy about this.
Well, we think that it's Beyonce. They're trying to do some big tease.
It has to be Beyonce. Come on.
Yeah, we think it's going to be Beyonce. You're right. That is a great Kanye reference. # Throwback Thursday. But the Swifties, come on, it would have been way too easy to give this to Taylor Swift. You and I just talked about Billboard and Jason Aldean. Clearly, they are trying to ruffle some feathers with these lists, and they have done so.
You're right. I think it's the more politically prudent decision to go with Beyonce as opposed to Taylor Swift. But they're both Democrat darlings. They both endorse Kamala. They both try to do their utmost to get her over the line. So either way, you would think Billboard would be on safe ground in that industry. But yeah, I bet Kanye is happy. Or is he fallen out with Beyonce? But the Kanye of 2024 is very different to the one who interrupted Taylor Swift when she was receiving that award. Kinsey Schofield, thanks for your time.